Yo, what is good people? Today's video, we're going to cover two sort of topics. One topic is how long does it take someone to build muscle, and another one which is more specific to me, which is how long did it take me to build muscle. So I'm more or less going to take you through my kind of body transformation from when I started till now. So yeah, stay tuned for this video, and if you enjoy it, be sure to hit the subscribe and hit the like button. Anyways, let's get on with this video. Alright then, so let's kick it off with talking about my kind of transformation from start to end. Really the start point we're going to go from though is when I'm 3 months into training, purely because before then I wasn't doing YouTube, social media wasn't really a thing, and I was really embarrassed of my body, so I didn't take any pictures of me topless, so my full skinny fat phase isn't really there. But 3 months in, that shows me once I started eating a bit more food and like started to train. From those video clips, that was me in university, so I was just kind of like getting into shape, and I just wanted to kind of improve my body. And the funny thing is, at that point when I did that video, that was 3 months into training, and I was quite, even though I looked quite sad in the video, I was actually kind of chuffed because that was the first time I started seeing triceps and stuff like that. So my arms used to be like just really kind of smooth, so when I started seeing the odd tricep line, to me that was like a really big deal. So yeah, that was me 3 months into training. Now we're going to jump ahead to me around 6 months in, and as you can see, personally, I can see like I'm still getting a little bit bigger, my foundation's still getting built, but the one thing you do notice is that I'm still fairly bulky, and that was purely down to the diet. I was training at this point in the gym. I wouldn't say it was absolutely great, but I was going more frequent. The first pictures you saw was maybe 2 times a week, maybe 3 times. This point here is around 3 to 4 times a week, but the diet was still the same sort of bird's eye foods. Just really like processed foods, just kind of put from the freezer to the oven. I was eating more food, but it was just not the best. It wasn't nutrient dense is the best way of putting it. Now we're going to jump forward a bit more. I think this is about a year and 6 months into training now. So now you can see I'm still getting big, I'm still building muscle, but as you can see I'm just like an incredible bulk. My core section is still very like, you don't see any sort of lower abs really. The top 4 you kind of see, but the rest of it is just kind of bulky, and overall my body's just like a slab of meat. But I was getting stronger and I was in the gym a lot more consistently. This is just me kind of reiterating to you how important the diet is, because as you can see so far I've been training and my physique is getting bigger, so like with a t-shirt and I feel more broad, but in terms of actual definition and just overall what you'd class as like looking lean, I'm not really there yet, and that's purely down to the diet. I did start cooking some of my meals, but still the predominant amount of meals I was having was still kind of frozen foods from the freezer. Okay, at this point now, I'm slowly learning more and more about fitness and training, so I'm still finding my groove really. And I started following a push-pull legs routine, and I'm going to show you kind of some of the old training clips, because I went through my old laptop and I luckily found some on the hard drive before I threw it away. And so I've got some of my old training clips to kind of show you guys. It actually comes from my push-pull legs routine, I think. It's in my playlist on YouTube right now, and I'm going to show you the physique that this kind of got me. Bearing in mind my diet was still probably 60% bad, but it did help me improve my physique. And so now you can see me back in that old commercial gym, that Pure gym I used to go to. And the funny thing is that at that point in time, I thought I was absolutely wrong. I thought I was that guy. I truly believe that I was like that henchman, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I was tiny, but it's just weird how your perspective can change over the years. But yeah, that is my physique I kind of got to. Eating around 50 to 60% good, so I wasn't 100% dedicated with the diet, but in terms of gym I tried to make sure I was in there at least 4 times a week. But the one thing I probably didn't enforce enough was progressive overload, but I'll go into that later on in the video. So now we're going to jump forward a bit more, and this is the point where I started doing YouTube a bit more frequent on here. I was looking at my physique, because at this point I was taking progress photos, as you can see, and I started realizing that okay, I am getting sort of bigger, but I wasn't really ever getting any sort of definition, which is that I kind of wanted, because I had holidays coming up, and so I tried to look more into nutrition. So what I did was I started eating way less processed food. I kind of stopped buying foods from Bird's Eye, Chicago Town pizzas, things like that. I started actually preparing my own foods, and this was I wish I could go back to my earlier self and punch myself in the head and make myself do it earlier, because as soon as I started cooking my own meals along with following like a structured gym routine, I started seeing so much results. So now we're going to jump forward to 2016, where I got myself to the leanest I've ever been in life and my best physique, and I was truly proud of it. You may have seen it's a YouTube kind of series I was doing, which was cutting season, and basically it's a whole season of videos. I think it's like around 12 or 13 of them, and I kind of showed how I was going to cut down from high body fat, because I ended up bulking, getting really heavy, and I wanted to cut down and look good for a holiday. So I ended up doing like a good 12 or 13 weeks of cutting, and all I can say is that it really did reveal all the gains and all the hard work I was putting in throughout the years that I wasn't able to see before. So I managed to get myself down to a good physique. As you can see in the footage on screen, I was really truly happy with it. I was kind of happy. I was seeing obliques and certain areas of my definition I've never even seen before. So it was all like brand new, and I was vlogging it the whole time. So if I look a bit vain, it's purely because I haven't even seen those muscles before myself. So it was like we were sharing that experience for the first time. So that was my best physique to date from when I started in 2013, 2014 up until 2016. Now we're going to jump forward a whole year, which is 2016 when I was my leanest to 2017 when I was my leanest, which was only a few months ago. And you can see that I have definitely grown in size. In terms of weight, if you want to compare it like that, in 2016 I was probably roughly around 152-ish pounds, whereas the lean kind of physique you see me on screen 2017, I'm about 155 pounds. So that kind of says in essence I've made some progress. Like I look personally leaner, and I'm also heavier on the scales, which means I've gained more lean muscle mass over the year. So that's just something that I was really happy with. As I said, this whole journey now brings us to here, which is just turned January 2018. So now I've been training for like 5 years, and all I can say is that the main thing I can take away from it is that there is ups and downs. For me, this journey's been 5 years. I truly believe if someone else started off and was the most optimal, you could probably make the same results I made probably in half the time, like 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. You could actually make it, and that's just saying that I didn't train as optimal as I could, purely because life has ups and downs. It's very hard to stay 100% at it all the time. I've had ups and downs, but I'm still proud of what I've achieved. I'm happy with my physique right now. I'm still going to continue to try and make every year better. For example, at the end of this year, I hope I look back at right now and I look even better or stronger, bigger, and just overall more aesthetic, because that's my goal. If you compare the training from now to then, the one thing I will say is I'm a lot more smarter in the gym now. I try to apply more progressive overload to try and force my muscles a reason to grow. Like when you're fairly new to lifting, progressive overload is so much easier to achieve because you're new to the gym, it's a new stimulus, you're going to end up getting bigger much faster. Whereas right now I have to be more smart in my training, so I have to try and force and give my muscles a reason to get bigger, a reason to just, you know, make them gains. So it's a little bit harder, but I'm still making gains every year, thankfully. And those of you out there can as well. If you're brand new to lifting, trust me, all you gotta do is make the change and be committed. Committed is the one thing. Before I started doing this journey, I used to go gym on and off and just always fail, and I'd never stick it through with it. I'd go for like 2 weeks, or I'd go with a friend and they didn't want to go, so I didn't go. And it was just little things like that which really put me off track. So the main thing I can say is that be consistent. Diet is 155% key. Like if anything, as you saw, like for 3 years I was training, wasn't eating that great. I was getting bigger, but you would probably still class me as a bit bulky and a bit chubby. Whereas once I started doing my diet, within 3 months the body fat started to strip down and I could see the muscle gains beneath, which was great. And yeah, those are the main 3 things. Be consistent, eat well, and be sure to train effectively and apply progressive overload. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a like, a thumbs up, comment down below, and feel free to let me know about your journey so far, what gains you've made. And as it's January right now, there's so many fitness questions, and a lot of people are trying to get into lifting, as they always do. And I've had a lot of people hit me up and asking for advice and stuff like that. I have a complete beginner's guide training kind of series on my channel. Feel free to check it out. I'm also going to come out with a full-on training ebook that's everything in one place. It's going to be very detailed. It's going to have all my thoughts in one place. So stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled, and if you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe below, and I will see you in the next video. Be sure to hit the like. Stay getting gains, people.